Joining me on Mirror Now today is a very special guest. His songs are a rage, all of 26, and this singer-songwriter who sings in a dozen different languages is also the first artist to top the global Billboard charts twice in a single year. He's called the pop icon for a reason, and now he features on English hit maker Ed Sheeran's 2022 single, Two Step. Armaan Malik, welcome to Mirror Now. This is really amazing.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to talk about the song and everything in general.
Well, it is, like I said, very amazing. How did the collaboration happen? This is the biggest thing that we can talk about today.
Well, Ed Sheeran and his team reached out to my team and my label here, Warner Music, and they had the song Two Step, which was on his album Equals. And they wanted an Indian artist to do a special verse on this song. And they identified me as the artist that they really want to go ahead with and do something with. So I was really ecstatic. And within a few days, actually, ever since, we heard of the opportunity, I was like, okay, I'm down for it. Obviously, who's not down to do a song with Ed Sheeran? And within 2 days, I received all the tracks. I laid my vocals and I sent it ahead. And here we are, 2 weeks later, and we have the song out, and everyone's really loving it, and I'm so happy.
And Armaan, I was kind of stalking you on social media, and I believe that you kind of manifested this collaboration because you wanted it to happen, and it is happening now. It has happened. So that's something that you yourself had said that you wanted to collaborate with Ed.
Yes, the kind of person that I am, I really believe in manifestation and, dreams coming true if you really believe and, have faith in them. In an interview, someone had asked me, who do you want to collaborate with? And I said, Ed Sheeran is one of my favorite artists and I would love to do something with him. And here we are a few years later and I'm doing a song with him and it's out there in the universe, in the world for everyone to hear. So I do believe that dreams do come true. You just got to have faith in them and work really hard. And I believed in my dream and I'm glad that it's come true.
Well, everybody started listening to it, but we cannot actually go ahead and proceed further on this interview if we don't get you to actually sing 2 lines for us live on the broadcast. Otherwise, interview bilkul adhura hoga.
Okay, let's do it.
बातें मुझे कुछ है कहनी रोका खुद को है मैंने कई बार अब लगता है बोल दूं जिनको भी है गलत फहमी चलो उनकी भी आंखें अब मैं खोल दूं जो भी मैं हूँ मेरे दम पे हाथ रखा ना किसी ने मेरे सर पे जीते दिल मैंने काम से जुड़ गए हजारों लाखों फैंस मेरे नाम से दिल से जो गाया मैंने गीत तो हटाया मुझे उनसे उम्र में हूँ छोटा थक गया था सुन सुन के चल जाने देना यार मुझे मिल गया तेरा प्यार So we'll go all night, two-stepping with the woman I love. All my troubles sound nothing when I'm in your eyes, electrified. We'll keep turning up and go all night.
Beautiful, Armaan. So like I was asking you, the kind of love that you deserve, you are receiving, not just for this song, but your entire career is actually, laced with the kind of fan love that you've received. But for this particular single, what do people have to say? We are living in the day and age of social media where responses are very instant. So what have you seen so far?
Well, everyone's going berserk with the fact that they can see Ed Sheeran and Armaan Malik on one track. I think that's a dream that a lot of Indian listeners, Indian artists have had for a very long time. And I'm so glad that, through me, this dream has come true. And I hope that more and more such collaborations happen. This is definitely getting so much love out there on social media. A lot of people didn't expect me to do a Hindi verse because I've been singing a lot of English songs in the last 2 years. Sabne socha ki I'm going to do an English verse on this. And the whole song will be in English, but I surprised everyone by doing a Hindi verse. And what they were even more surprised with was the fact that I talked about my own journey, stuff that I've gone through as a singer, as an artist. And I'm glad that I got that creative freedom from Ed and his team to, pour my feelings out and my heart out there and actually be really truthful and be honest about what I felt as an artist. And I think that's really beautiful. When an artist gets to speak his truth, I think it's a very powerful moment. And I'm glad I got to do that with this song.
Yeah.
with Ed Sheeran.
And very interesting that you mentioned over here, because when you came out with Control in 2020, you know, obviously there were a section of the audience that absolutely loved the song. The numbers say it all, the kind of views that the song got. But there was also a section that ended up trolling you, saying that do not try to be like Bieber, you know, sing in Hindi. They really did not want you to sing in English. Why was that happening? Why do you think, and how did you take that?
I'm okay with it, to be honest. You know, with anything that you do, there's always going to be lovers and haters. And I don't think you have to see which criticism is the right criticism to actually pay attention to. And as an artist, that's what I did. And yes, I did say I'm taking India global and wanting to make India proud. But what am I doing if I'm not actually taking Hindi global? And that's something that really stayed with me. And while I was doing English songs, I always wanted to do Hindi songs on a global, international level. And here I am doing a Hindi verse on an Ed Sheeran song, and that is as global as Hindi can get. So for me, I've always wanted to sing in English. So when I put those songs out, yes, I did expect a few people to be like, okay, no, we don't want to see you or hear you in this way. But that's fine. You know, you win audiences over a period of time by doing what you love. It's not going to happen overnight. You can't do something and be like, okay, I'm going to win everyone in the world. That does not work that way. And you really can't go out there and make everyone happy. You have to do what makes you happy. And that's what made me happy doing English music, because it's, as a 15-year-old, you know, the Armaan who was 15-year-old, he was like, I want to do English pop music. So I was actually living that teenager's dream, and for it to come true and on such a big scale, I was over the moon. So I would not let any of the negativity pull me down or make me feel like I'm doing something wrong. But yes, I did feel that as an Indian, as a Hindi singer, as a multilingual singer, it was important for me to take Hindi global as well, along with whatever I'm doing in English pop music, which is why this is such a beautiful collaboration with the biggest artist in the world. Ed Sheeran is the #1 artist in the world as we speak. And his voice, his songs, his songwriting is really something that everyone is paying attention to. And if I'm singing a Hindi verse on that and the whole world is paying attention to that, I think it's a huge moment for Indian music and Hindi music.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, I would actually turn the audience's attention to a 2014 song, What Love Is, your first English song that you've done. But before I go to that, your single, Next to Me, leading both the top thriller US and top global charts, that's also something that we have to talk about.
Yes, What Love Is where it actually began. And there was a song called Love You Till the End in the movie Jai Ho, which was also in English, but then we converted it to Hindi. But I would say the actual real pop, English pop music that I've always wanted to do, and that I felt like this is the time that I want to present this to the world, was Control. And I think it was such a beautiful time when that happened. Right. It was when in 2018, 2019, I went to Los Angeles and I started working on my English material, English songs, and I made Control on one of those trips. And I shot the video for it. And as soon as I landed, the pandemic happened and all of us were at home. And I was really fixed as to, wait, I have this really big global song. It's in English. It's something that I've not done before. It's a big release, but how am I going to promote this? Because I'm not going to be going anywhere physically and promoting this. And during that time, I was also featured on Times Square, New York with Control. So I had just landed from New York. I just landed from New York. I was like, wait, I could have just stayed a few days there, but I would have been locked down there in New York. So many things were going on. Control was my biggest song and everyone was at home. So I was like, wait, I mean, everyone's going to actually want to listen to new music and see content. So I thought of it in a very different way. I feel like that was a beautiful time because, you know, while everything was really, really dark and negative, I felt like this song, this step that I'd taken was a ray of light, a ray of hope for Indian music, Indian musicians in general. And I saw it as that. I think it's all about how you take things. I could have been sad about like, oh, I have this big collab, a big song coming out, big international record, and be like, oh, but you know, it's pandemic time and everyone's at home. But I took it really positively at that point of time, and it became one of my biggest singles till date. A lot of people keep telling me that, you know, Control is what made me an Armaan Malik fan, and I'm like, wait, you didn't hear Bol Do Na Zara or Main Rahoon Ya Na Rahoon and all those songs? And they were like, no, I heard Control first, and I became an Armaan Malik fan after that. So yes, there is a section and an audience
that's really
that became a fan of mine after I started doing these pop songs. So, I mean, like you said, you can't win them all, but you can definitely win new fans and new listeners.
Absolutely. And talking about international collaborations, you did one more before Ed Sheeran. That was, of course, the very, very ambitious project Echo. That also worked wonders. Of course, you collaborating with not just a K-pop star, but also an indie pop star. We're talking about Eric Nam when it comes to K-pop, and also, you know, American producer Kashmir. So that is something that also happened. So you have kept on with your, you know, collaborations in place while you know, obviously were singing the popular Hindi film numbers also.
For me as an artist, I've always been someone who doesn't like to be boxed up in one kind of genre or music. And ever since the beginning, people have known me, you know, as a Bollywood playback singer. And for me, as an identity, as a singer, as a songwriter, I knew I was so much more than just singing for movies or just doing playback singing. Yes, that is a big part of my identity, and a lot of people know Armaan Malik through Bollywood songs. And I would never want to change that, because that's how they got to know me. But I wanted to introduce people to this new side of mine that it's not actually not new. It was something that was always inside of me, but for people it was new, and I was introducing it to them for the very first time. So, I mean, it's crazy how I've been able to do Bollywood music. I've been able to do non-film music in Hindi and other languages, and also do my pop stuff and collaborations. And a lot of it happened during the pandemic. In the last 2 to 3 years, I've done so many songs across languages and collaborations. I feel like I've been my most productive during this time. And I feel like, you know, nothing can stop you if you have your you know, eyes set on that one dream that you really want to accomplish. And that's the person that I've been. I've been very driven.
Absolutely.
I've had these lofty dreams in my eyes, and literally I go to bed and I'm like, okay, what's this next dream that I want to dream about, and how can I achieve that or work towards that? That is literally what I'm obsessing over every day. And I think that's why I've been blessed by God, by everyone around me, that I've gotten these opportunities and I've been able to deliver them in the best possible way. I believe in manifestation, and that's what I do every day. And I really work hard towards each of these songs that I do in different languages. For me, when a South Indian song like Butta Bomma not only became a regional national hit, it became an international hit, I was really proud, because that's something I've always wanted. I've always wanted, you know, a song which is you know, from the South industry, because I've been singing there for a very long time, to kind of pop off and just become a, you know, a national and a global hit. A lot of people come up to me and say that we don't really understand the lyrics, but I love the song. And that's what I want to do. I want listeners to listen to songs for just them being songs, whichever language they are in.
You know, very good you mentioned Butta Bomma, because I was going to come to it. And of course, starring Allu Arjun, that also added, that was another feather in the cap. Of course, people, that song was a rage. It was the most viral hit, you know, that you have probably sung, and also popular on TikToks. And what is happening with Ali Zafar with his song, you know, right now, what we are seeing on Instagram and social media is something much more that happened with Butta Bomma. So that is also something that you have associated with. But as a singer and as an artist, what do you veer towards? Like you said that you don't want to be cast in a certain shell or a genre, but there must be a certain kind of or a style of singing that probably you started out with, that you always want to be associated with. What was that?
I actually, a lot of people, the thing is, you know, when you do a song and it becomes very successful, people love to make you sing hundreds of those. And that's when people start looking at you in a very different manner. Me as a singer, I started, you know, in the industry, and I did a lot of romantic songs, and they became really big hits. So people thought of me as the love song singer, the romantic singer. But I always had this pop side inside of me. So if I would say that the kind of sound and the songs that really represent the musicality inside of me, I would say it's songs like Control, songs like Echo, Two-step is a very, very different genre because I kind of like rapped and sang my part. It's something very, very different from what I usually do, which is what I love about Ed Sheeran. He's a musical chameleon, and he does not just do one kind of music. He does all sorts of genres, and that's something that I've always wanted to do.
I like the phrase musical chameleon. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me. I want to challenge myself. I'm not satisfied with where I am or what I'm doing. I always want to. I want that another goal to chase, and that's the kind of person I've always been. And for me, I don't like getting comfortable with one genre. As long as my musicality is being tested, and I'm under pressure to do something really different and new, that's what keeps me going as an artist. So I cannot be comfortable and complacent. That's just not the way I am. But yes, if I have to say that there's a genre that I really feel defines me, that would be pop and R&B. That's the true genre inside of me. And something that I enjoy singing vocally is definitely ballads and romantic songs, which is why there was a song called You, which I had released earlier this year, which is an out-and-out romantic song in English. Yes. I did Control, yes. I did Echo, I did the experimentation that people thought was very different. But then I did this one song that people actually identify with my voice in Hindi, and that has been a huge success as well. So yeah, I mean, I want to do stuff that I really believe in. I also have to do the stuff that people really, think of, like, okay, this is what we know Armaan for. He's got to do a little more of romantic ballads and stuff. So I throw and sprinkle a bit of these here and there. But I really enjoy making pop and R&B songs, and I do enjoy singing love and ballads.
Okay. So I'll throw this to you now, Armaan. If I actually put you in a spot and ask you for a 3-song medley of the genres that you delve in, what is your go-to? And how would you actually go ahead? And obviously singing, because without singing, तो हम ऐसे जाने नहीं दे सकते ना आपको.
Okay.
బుట్టబొమ్మ నన్ను చుట్టుకుంటివే జిందగీకే అట్టబొమ్మై జంట కట్టుకుంటివే Guess I'm under your control and I can't take it anymore. We should make it personal. Why can't you just close the door? कि मैं हूँ हीरो तेरा, हाँ मैं हूँ हीरो तेरा.
Well, beautiful. That's interestingly done. That's really, really nice. We talk about the Hindi film industry. Of course, it started with what? Bum Bum Bole, in Tare Zami Par. How did that happen? If I actually take you a little bit down the memory lane and, get our audience a little brush with the memory that they'd love to know, how did this happen?
So Amir sir and Shankar Ehsaan Loy were auditioning different child singers for Bum Bum Bole. And there was a huge audition that was held in the studio itself. And a lot of the industry child singers, I was already in the circuit of being a child singer, doing voiceovers for ads, being a jingle singer as a child. So I was one of those, children already in the industry doing those, singing bits and voiceover bits. So we were all called together for an audition, and a few lines of the Mukhda were given as like the audition script or piece or whatever, and we sang that back, and whoever they felt were really strong, they selected those, and I was one of those kids. So there were 3 to 4 kids that sang Bum Bum Bole together, and a lot of them are still my friends and very close to me. All of us kind of like started singing together, and Amir sir was in the studio while we recorded. He's very involved in the music making process and every process of his movie. So when we were recording, he was, actually explaining what the scene was about and what exactly he was wanting from us in terms of our expression and the way we were delivering the song. So it was beautiful. And there was also Shan sir in the room, because he sung like the main parts, and obviously the children were supporting and singing the chorus lines. So it was a celebration actually in the studio, all amazing musicians together. And that was my, first track for a Bollywood movie. And then there was Mere Buddy from Bhootnath, which was, a song that had Amit sir rapping and singing with me. And that was a beautiful moment, because when I went to record that song, it was Amit sir's birthday. And I had this scrapbook from that time where I had clicked a picture and put into that scrapbook, and he'd actually signed that for me and stuff. So it's very fresh, these memories still. And that's how it began for me. I started singing for these Bollywood movies, and then obviously I did my 10th standard, and education happened in between. And then I came back again and started doing, I focused on my non-film album, which was Armaan, released in 2014. And somewhere around the same time, some songs of that album, were heard by Salman sir, and then he loved those songs and he put it in Jai Ho, and Bollywood playback singing career as an adult playback singer started. So one thing led to another. I mean, there's a huge journey. It started with being a voiceover artist and a jingle singer, to singing for children's movies, then singing for Jai Ho, which was my first, playback for a big starrer movie. And then one thing led to another. I sang songs like Main Hoon Hero Tera, Tumhe Apna Banane Ka, Wajah Tum Ho, and Main Rahoon Ya Na Rahoon, and then it just went on, and here I am talking to you.
Of course, and you're talking to me, and you just mentioned these beautiful, beautiful songs. Before I let you go, and again, I'm sorry for demanding so many songs from you, but if it is Armaan Malik on the broadcast with me, how can I not have you sing? What are the 3 most popular songs that people request of you from the Hindi film industry? 3 most popular Armaan Malik numbers. What are those? If you could just sing those for us before we call it a day.
बोल दो ना जरा दिल में जो है छिपा, मैं किसी से कहूँगा नहीं। बोल दो ना जरा दिल में जो है छिपा, मैं किसी से कहूँगा नहीं। मैं रहूँ या ना रहूँ, तुम मुझ में कहीं बाकी रहना। मुझे नींद आए जो आखिरी, तुम ख्वाबों में आते रहना। बस इतना है तुमसे कहना, बस इतना है तुमसे कहना। जुदा हम हो गए माना, मगर ये जान लो जाना, कभी मैं याद आऊं तो चले आना, चले आना। तुम्हें मैं भूल जाऊंगा, ये बातें दिल में ना लाना, कभी मैं याद आऊं तो चले आना, चले आना।
Well, thank you so much, Armaan. This was beautiful. It was lovely talking to you. And this was such a mellifluous interview, and all because of you rendering it all musical and mellifluous. Thank you so much for doing this conversation with me.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Lots of love.